Buenas tardes, estamos transmitiendo desde el club de prensa de aquí de Washington, D.C., donde tendrá lugar dentro de unos pocos momentos una conferencia un panel de discusión con la participación de Carlos Fernando Chamorro, Aníbal Rosales, Lucía Pineda y dos periodistas más. Será en inglés con interpretación al español.
If you didn't already know, this is the eminent organization for journalists here in Washington, D.C., in the country and around the world. We put on a lot of events, everything from karaoke, trivia. Check the schedule. If you can sing, if you if you have some knowledge, please join us. Join my team, please, because I need it. But we also, the National Press Club is also an advocacy organization, and the most important thing that we work on, obviously, is press freedom. There's a lot that's going on around the world which really endangers press freedom. So it's one of the reasons why we have events like this, many events like this. Again, check we do have future events. Do feel free to check the website at press.org, and you'll find many more. My job is also to introduce our very esteemed moderator, who's going to take over the show. But Maria Pena is a member of the Press Club. She is also a digital reporter for Telemundo. By the way, I should point out that we're lucky to have her for a number of reasons, not the least of which is she's actually originally from Nicaragua, so she knows she's been following this issue and everything that's been going on for a very long time. At Telemundo, she covers all things affecting Hispanics, including immigration, trade, education, housing, voting, political empowerment, foreign policy, and most recently, domestic terrorism at the border. So it's quite the portfolio that she has. She's worked in Washington journalism for more than 30 years, but also travels abroad to cover major international stories such as Obama's historic 2016 trip to Cuba. She's a frequent guest on major networks including Voice of America, Univision, CBC, CNN, and CGTN America. In 2017, she was named among El Tiempo Latino's 100 influential Latinos. And like I said, she is a member of the National Press Club. And chances are you can be too, by the way, if you want to check the club, check the site and sign up. Maria, thank you so much for doing this. I'm going to pass it over to you. You're in charge.
Yeah, well, thank you. So again, I want to welcome all of you. Thank you for taking the time. Gracias por venir. Están en su casa. Esperamos que pues obtengan mucha información valiosa para entender la realidad nicaragüense. Thank you for being here. We're hoping to make a delightful and very informational forum for you to learn about what's going on in Nicaragua today. So we're going to get the show started. First of all, before we get going, we want to show you a 4-minute video that sums up what's happening in Nicaragua, particularly to freedom of the press. As you know, the press is plays a vital role in a democracy, and we're going to show you what's happening in Nicaragua and why democracy is threatened when freedom of the press is threatened.
Oh, there you go. Okay, thank you. I swear it wasn't a second.
Maybe you want to shut the lights off for a little bit so you can see better?
El presidente Ortega y la vicepresidenta Rosario Murillo ha orientado a Telcor ordenar a todas las cableras el cierre y la censura de nuestras transmisiones.
El día de hoy se hizo realidad. Radio Darío ha sido destruida nuevamente. No así los ideales de Puerto Rico.
haciendo mi trabajo.
Nos han agredido, nos amenazaron, me quitaron mis equipos. Informar de la mejor manera, con profundidad, con mucho detalle, para que se conozca la realidad, que nadie logre tapar esa realidad que tiene derecho la población a conocer.
I think those last words are really poignant because that's basically what this panel is about. Never let those voices be silenced. Que nadie pueda tapar esa realidad. So with us today, we have several panelists. They all hail from Nicaragua. Some of them have been in exile, so I'm going to introduce them as they're sitting to my left. I have Lucia Pineda Ubao. She's the news director of 100% Noticias, 100% Noticias. Lucia was arrested on December 21st of last year. Her only sin obviously was just to inform people about what was happening in Nicaragua, and yet she was accused of conspiring to commit acts of terrorism. So she'll tell you more about her experience in jail for 6 months until she was released on June 11th, I believe. And then to her left, we have Sergio León. He's the owner and director of La Costeñísima, which is a radio station in Bluefields. He has remained in Nicaragua and has faced constant harassment and threats. And he was also detained by Nicaraguan police on multiple occasions. And he'll share his experience with you as well. To his left, we have Aníbal Toruño, who just recently returned from exile in Miami to Nicaragua. He'll talk to you about the experience of what it means to come back and try to work again in Nicaragua after being in exile. He's the director and owner of Radio Darío, which is one of the oldest media outlets in Nicaragua. It's been around for at least 70 years. And on April 20th, pro-government mobs set fire to the radio station. They damaged all the equipment, and they forced them to have to move somewhere else to continue their operations. So he'll talk about how even today, the radio is constantly under constant threats and attacks for himself, for the rest of the personnel at the radio station. And then to his left, we have Carlos Fernando Chamorro. He's the founder and the editor of Confidencial, who, you know, produced the video here. He is currently in exile in Costa Rica, following a police raid on Confidencial in December of last year. They confiscated documents, equipment, phones, computers, cameras, just to disrupt the magazine's reporting of what's going on in Nicaragua. He fled the country in January because he was just facing death threats, and it got to a point where it was no longer safe for himself and his family. So we're going to talk about what's going on. I wanted to give Lucia, you know, some prime real estate here because she has a very poignant testimony about what it was like for her to spend so many months in jail, because all she did really was do her reporter's job to inform people about what was going on, about their rights, about the protest, the crackdown on protest. You may not know, but since April of last year, more than 300 people, 328 people died as a result of the crackdown. So, Lucia, I want to switch to Spanish now. Hemos dado un recuento de lo que la experiencia que ha tenido cada uno de ustedes. Quisiera que compartieras con el público cómo sucedió ese día, ese viernes que los arrestaron. Ustedes se habían entrincherado en el canal, sabiendo que en cualquier momento los iban a arrestar. ¿Qué sucedió y cuál fue esa experiencia de estar 6 meses en prisión?
Bueno, nosotros nos atrincheramos. Bueno, muchas gracias por el público que están acá. Gracias a Dios que me tiene acá frente a ustedes en libertad. Pero sobre todo, ahora gloria a Dios que nos sacó de esa cárcel.
Gracias, disculpen, pero el audio es Francisco, gracias. No se puede porque está ahí micrófonos y interpretación. Gracias. Informamos más tarde, gracias.
Y le está haciendo al pueblo de Nicaragua. Bueno, esa noche